Okay. In five, four, three, two.
Let me put you on game to a different way of thinking. Black King, empower the youth to live the truth, got big dreams. Black King, all of my brothers set up for each other, that's how we know we. Black King, bringing more unity to community, yeah. Black King.
Yeah, you know what time it is? Kings, Queens, my royal family. My name is Walter Watts, and welcome to another episode of King's Hour. Like always, I got my kings with me. Mook, where you at?
Man, I'm in this thing, man. Let's get at it.
Jojo, talk to me.
Mic check, mic check.
1, 2, 1, 2. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Now look, we got a good episode today, fellas. Okay. Now, the topic for today is polarities in relationships. And for our listeners, we have all read a book called The Way of the Superior Man by David Data. There it is. They both got it on hand because this book really breaks down the polarities in relationships. It talks about masculine energy. Talk to me, Mook.
Hold on, you can't forget about dropping the other book too. You know,
Okay.
Battle Cry, but
And also have read another book called Battle Cry. And what is the author's name?
Jason Wilson.
Jason Wilson. For our listeners, you guys should stop and make sure you read both of these books, especially for our men. Battle Cry by Jason Wilson and Way of the Superior Man by David Data. So please, we highly recommend it. I know it's changed my life when it comes to just the polarities and masculine and feminine energy. And really, that's what we're going to dive into today. So based off of that, we're starting with you, Mook. The topic, obviously, is polarities in relationships, but we're going to focus right now on how has masculine and feminine energy been portrayed to you growing up? Or what did you think masculine and feminine energy was growing up?
Ooh. Well, I've had a lot of time to sit with this one, first of all, audience. So I know I don't expect y'all to have answers right away when you're thinking about this. But for me, growing up early, it was very straightforward. Masculine meant men and feminine meant women, and that's just the way that we were supposed to act. You know, there were things that weren't really defined. And when I think about masculine, I think about being tough, working through anything, providing, for your family, never showing any weakness, never showing any emotion, never showing any of that. And anytime anything else showed up, you ran from it. Not only did you run from it, but you subdued it. It wasn't true. It wasn't real. And you just got to keep running, keep providing. So much so that when natural feelings came up, you couldn't address them.
With that, what does that mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Like when natural things came up, you had to
when natural feelings came up, you had to tell yourself they weren't real. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't acknowledge that you were a human, that you felt different things. You could be hurt. You could be this, you could be that, but then you had to protect yourself to never feel that again, instead of knowing that, hey, that's normal. Most people feel that way. Lean into that. Investigate that, and find out more about that and why that happens to you, why you feel that way. No, I can't go that deep. I just got to know I can't go there no more. I can never be there. I got to be in control. I got to achieve. I got goals to go. So when I define all that, when I define masculine energy, that is just what I was. That's what I was supposed to be. There was not supposed to be any feminine side or any feminine tendencies. To matter of fact, if anybody called you any type of feminine,
it was a problem.
It's a problem. We might have to scrap.
Right? I'm soft. I'm weak. I'm less than a man. Right?
Man, stop acting like a girl.
Yeah, stop acting like a girl. You feminine.
Right. Right. Or hey, the famous line: "You play ball like a girl." You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what those things are. What we were raised on. Where it's like, what does that mean? Oh, masculine, feminine, but that. I'm gonna stop.
No, that's you can go
because I was
now going to you, JoJo. Same thing with you. Would you also agree that masculine was portrayed as just a man and feminine was portrayed as a woman? If you're going off kind of what Mook is saying.
For sure, man. And like, and to go deeper, it's like exactly what Moose said. You got a man or a masculine, you got to be in control. Uh, Real men don't cry. You know, you keep your feelings to yourself. You don't, just you don't show weakness. Like weakness is almost like synonymous with feminine, and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not even allowed. You can't be vulnerable. And these are things like, and this isn't like a fault. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of it is how we grew up, right? Like we grew up, especially like black men. Stereotypically, we're supposed to be that. We're supposed to be hard. We're supposed to be rough around the edges, right? That's what they expect of us, and that's what we're expected to be. We got to be tough. We got to be able to take whatever the world gives us. So it's already like this. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got time to be soft because the world don't care mentality. And all of those things are tied to these polarities. And it was like I don't think we really even understood like that, especially young. Like my pops is like always. I said it a couple times on the show. He's the most masculine man I've ever met in my life. The older I got, the more I realized like he was able to be more vulnerable in his later years. Like now I see a side of him I've never seen. Like, man, I ain't never seen my dad like not be soft, but just be vulnerable, be open, right? When I was young, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be like my dad, bro. You ain't never gonna see me cry. I'll knock your head off. Like, so it's just a different, you get older and it's dope to see him be more vulnerable, but it's also for me, and like it's helped me be vulnerable a lot sooner in my life, man. So yeah, pretty much the same as Moot.
And I want to even follow up on that what both of you guys said, which is important, is because even if you don't even have a father figure, even if you don't have a man or a dad that you're looking at that's portraying masculine energy, just the society alone portrays like this is what a man is supposed to be. If it comes to sports, if it comes to anything, if you get injured, you can't be like, oh, my leg.
Strap up, get back in there.
Strap up, man, get back
on dirt on it.
But think about
what they say, no blood, no foul.
Right.
Well, think about all the icons that we had, like as movie stars, that we looked up to. Like think about even for just completing all demographics. Think about Clint Eastwood, and who he was. Did he carry any feminine energy? You know what I'm saying? He was a gunslinger. He was gonna Chuck Norris. All these other people, like everybody that we looked up to as men, all came that way because they held a certain masculine presence. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a full rounded presence. Well, I can't really think of anything that we looked to that like had a full rounded presence where they could beat your ass, but then they could cry with you too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was not that. That wasn't the thing. So like, even when you think about it, what's being praised around you, it was never be well-rounded, be this. It was always you be one way and one way only. You know what I'm saying?
Even if you're going off of movies, I think you make a great a point, because if you're talking about Clint Eastwood and him being a gunslinger, the women were falling to his feet. You feel me? They were doing whatever he wanted to do because he was this badass, and that's what was portrayed. Like, you got to be the badass to get the ladies. You can't be out here simping, because the simp in the movie was the soft one, or got his girl taken, or got beat up, or what I mean. So you like,
especially in our movies, man. Come on,
they made him extra. They made that dude extra all the time.
Super simp. I'm like, come on, man.
I don't even know nobody like that. Come on, man.
Right? They didn't listen to rap. He didn't listen to music. He just was studying and super emotional. Like,
but look at this. We're saying it like it's a bad thing.
I see. It's naturally. See what I'm saying?
But no, that's what I don't think that. But that's by design, though. That's what I'm saying. That's by design, because they made that person unrelatable to anybody. So that's why it was so easy for us to be like, nah, I don't feel that. That ain't that, because it wasn't never real. And that's why I feel like it made it so easy for us to run from those feelings or run from that image, because we couldn't relate. We couldn't relate. We didn't want to relate. What we were gratified by was never that. It was never being that. You know what I'm saying? In every sense of the word.
To the point, the phrase, even good guys finish last.
We talked about that. We talked about this before with
which is crazy. So I think us talking about this makes it even more clear on how our mindset has been skewed for so long. And I think for us reading this book, and again, I advise our listeners to read this book and how it can clear up this cloudy area that we've been thinking that masculine or feminine energy has been portrayed or we think it's supposed to be. And it's crazy on how reading a book like this also helps you understand the mistakes that you've made in the past and some of the things that you need to correct or better understand about yourself right now. You know what I mean? So really going into kind of the book on Battle Cry or Way of the Superior Man. Talk to me about something that you guys have learned in this book, at least from yourself, on where you may have messed up in the past. I'm trying not to say this right now, so I'm trying to ease into it. So listeners, understand that this is not easy to talk about.
Right now, today, man. Here's the thing that made me chuckle. Here's the thing that made me chuckle about this song is that, you know, this all transpired because we talked about submission, right? And we saw the clip. I think we saw a clip a while back, and it was Cam now on I Am Athlete talking about what is a submissive woman, this and that. And for me, man, I realized that the word submission is just triggering on all levels. It's triggering on all levels when truly, you know, we're so quick to talk about a submissive woman, but we never talk about a submissive man. Right. You know what I'm saying? And what it means to unlock that submissive woman. And understanding that what I mean by that is bringing certain feminine energy when it's needed to certain situations. Sometimes you may need to take that back seat, make her feel empowered. You know, sometimes you may need to swallow that pride, knowing that, you know, there's something going on and there's a battle that she's fighting internally. So maybe I don't need to fight fire with fire in that situation. That's a sense of submission. But, you know, we've been taught that, no, you got to stand your ground. You got to hold that. So when I think about it, and then to bring that full circle, I think about where I went wrong is I was never thinking about looking internally. You know, and I was never thinking about how I show up in situations and, you know, understanding that there is not only is there two sides of the coin of being masculine and feminine, but there's certain situations where you have to be more so of that thing than the other, you know, to make the situation right, to make sure that we're coexisting and can really play off of each other for thinking about polarities. You know what I'm saying? Because it's got to be 100%. She may be 40% masculine at some point. I may have to be that 60%, you know, on the other side holding it down. But it changes at all times. And I thought about it just one way. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same, man. Like I said, I was running around with this idea of what masculinity was. Like Moose said, not knowing that if I wanted that certain type of relationship or that certain person in relationship, I can't just have this idea of I gotta tap into it to unlock those feminine qualities that I like in a woman, right? Ooh, and I wasn't that, man. Like I was just acting and saying it and doing it, running around thinking just because I'm a man and I'm quote unquote masculine, you're supposed to be these things naturally, not realizing that these are things I had to earn and these are things I had to show up and show out for. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just something that's gonna be handed to you. And it's like I'm sensitive, man. Like I'm a very sensitive dude, right? And these are things that you keep to you don't. I am.
It's not even fair that it's not even fair. See, that's the natural masculine envy.
That's the natural thing to do. But like this is something
that's chuckle. Like this.
Listen, hey, listeners, man, especially young men and women, figure out who you are early, because these are things I'm figuring out late. Like I'm a sensitive dude. I like to communicate. These are feminine qualities in me that I'm cool with, that I've accepted, right? These are things but I also have some very masculine qualities. And I fumbled a lot of bags as far as relationships, not like like intimate relationships, even platonic relationships, just off not knowing who I was in the situation, not being able to like communicate myself how I really want to communicate communicate with people, just because I didn't know, or just because the energies, I was kind of, I'm not feeling how he's talking to me. I'm gonna take it this way. It's like certain situations, like I just didn't understand polarities. I'm coming off aggressive. They can't handle it. It's just certain. It's just a different. It's just looking back. A lot of things make sense, and why I was triggered by certain things or turned off by certain things.
Can we talk about that for a second though? Because that you hit on something that I really wasn't sure if we were gonna get to, but like how this doesn't just show up in your intimate relationship. How this shows up. This can literally show up with like some of your closest friends, like dude to dude. I'm talking. It's funny. I was talking with Walt, and I'm like, dog, like you give me a lot of feminine. The reason I talk to you a lot of the time is that you give me a lot of feminine energy where you're able to feel, and I'm able to communicate with you, and we are able to talk back and forth on levels that I'm not really able to do that with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And like, but then I think about all the relationships that hadn't worked out for me from friend to friend to friend. And it was just like, we weren't able to get there. That's a feminine quality. That's a feminine quality, to be able to let's talk about where we're at. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about, although we're both like this, because don't get it twisted, man. I can't stand this dude. I cannot. I'm putting it this way. I can't stand this dude.
Argument literally today for about 30 minutes. And
we got in an argument for 30 minutes literally about how to structure a sentence. Or how to structure a sentence.
Yeah.
I'm not bullshitting
I was right
at all. He still knows he wasn't right, but like that's what I mean. But we have got into it a lot. And I think about it in my present day life, fam. And I think about the relationships that are in disarray right now, and that I just don't really give a damn to fix. It's because there's no level of communication. Even if I came to it with my heart and said, hey, here's how I was feeling. Here's what's going on, and here's what I want to get to. I'm not sure that that's going to fall where it needs to fall.
It's just there's no balance in those relationships. There's no balance.
The polarity's fucked.
Yeah, there's no balance. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? Like, because that's where I realize it's more in my friendships or in more than I've realized in my relationships. Because relationships, people are vulnerable out the gate.
Yeah.
For the most part. So you kind of know what you're getting, even if you don't understand the polarities of the situation. You still people are more open to be who they are. When it's a friendship, or you're establishing new friendships, or you're meeting people from other friend groups, everybody's like, I'm gonna be this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel it all the time because I wear it on my sleeves, bro. I'm pulling up in any situation. I'm gonna be who I am with the drug dealers. I'm gonna be who I am with the millionaires. I'm gonna be who I am, and I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna be open. I'm gonna communicate. I'm sensitive. I'm empathetic. All these things. And when I feel like you got this tough, like, oh, you want to be the big dog? That's cool, because I can fall back, and I'm cool with that. And I'm comfortable with myself, but I can also take over a situation. But if there's no balance, you always got to be that dude. It can't be too. We can't. It's just.
Let's call it spade a spade. That shit's felt. And that's the thing that we weren't taught. Is we were taught to be that hard shell. Don't be penetrated. But once we figured out on the other side that be you in every situation, because if nothing else, that's what they're going to feel, and that's what they're going to respect. Right. And that, once you see from that plane, you kind of laugh and chuckle. Where it's like, oh, you still doing that? You
still doing this, huh?
Yeah, you're trying to be.
Because you can tell it's not real. Once you can tell what's real and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Who's being true to themselves and who's just trying to maintain or hold on to this idea of what he feels like masculine is. In those situations, that's why I'm like, especially at this age, I fall back, man, because they say the older you get, it's harder to create relationships, right? To find friends. That's right. Hard. And even when so out the gate, if we can't have that open line of communication, or you still trying to sun me, or you know how dudes are, man, like, or one of y'all want to be the big dog, and y'all got it, man. Because I'm not, and that's also another feminine quality in me. I'm not I don't compete. I'm not like competitive like that. I'm not gonna battle you to be who can be the big dog. Like I'm not about to. I don't care, bro.
Right.
I don't care.
You got that.
But
who's
that goes into so much, because you said something really good, JoJo. You said at a young age we need to know who we are, right? And I think you hear that shit all the time. But what the hell does that mean? And I think it means sitting in your emotions. You know what I mean? Like if you're feeling a certain type of way, sit there, feel them, and understand where it's coming from. You know what I mean? And that's how you find out who you are. Because even for me, I would have feminine energy on certain things. Like I said before, I didn't want to hold hands and shit because I wanted to look masculine with my girl or whatever. But now, shit, I'll hold a hand so quick and skip. You know what I mean?
Frolic.
How do we get here every episode, though?
Every time
we get here every episode.
Frolic.
You always want to kiss.
Always talk about frolicking.
You always.
And for my listeners, look, this is a prime example. Look, you may have some friends that make fun of you for skipping and frolicking. You know what I mean? Be comfortable in your skin. It's gonna make you happy. Right. You know what I mean? So then you don't have to compete with another man or another relationship. Because you are who you are. Let them talk about your frolicking. You're skipping. I tried to make that plural. I didn't know how to do it. So
I got you. Man. I was following. But that's actually a very, very interesting point, though, man. Because thinking about who would you have to be at a young age and like feel your emotions. I do want to say sit with your emotions, but then also seek out somebody that's really going to talk. Because you do need to get those out too. Although that they're your emotions, you need to sit with them. You need to understand that they're normal. You need to understand that everybody is going through them and they're just an emotion. No matter what you do about it, you can't really change an emotion. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand why it's present. You got to understand why it's present. Why am I feeling this? What triggered this if it's bad? And find yourself, and one thing that I wish when I think about it, if I could start over, man, like mental fortitude. I've never really understood even over physical presence and being a physical stature, man. I wish we would have put more emphasis on just your mental fortitude and being able to understand what's going on in your head, because that's the biggest thing that I think we failed on. It's like understanding that what's in here, a lot of it is subconscious, man. It's just going to happen. But how is it getting there? What's feeding into that subconscious? You know what I'm saying? And like, that's the biggest thing that I think about. If I could start over, and understanding that feminine side and thinking through that and sitting with that emotion.
And even thinking about the books are understanding that, and we keep saying it, but saying that a masculine doesn't mean that you're a man and feminine doesn't mean that you're female. And also understanding that you have to be able to have both inside of you and be able to portray that out to your partner or to your friend or whatever the case may be, because to have a lasting, strong relationship, like you guys said, it has to balance. You have to be masculine sometimes, and your partner or your friend has to be feminine, and it has to go both ways. It has to teeter-totter. It's like a yin and a yang. So I think this book the most has taught me that you have to be able to play both sides. It's not just black and white. And growing up, I thought it was black and white.
And it's not even like, I don't want to say it's not playing both sides. It's just like you got to find that person. It's like a puzzle piece, right? You got to find that person, because these qualities, they're going to be what they are.
Right.
Yeah, you might have to do a little to make it work, but they're going to be what they are. So I think what it comes down to is like appreciating that person's energy, respecting it and appreciating it for what it is. If it's compatible or not, that's a whole nother question, right? But you got to appreciate where they are and not expect them to give you something that they're not.
Ooh. See, now here's where I differ a bit.
And I know I was going to say
here's where I differ a bit. Yeah. Because I feel like throughout life experiences, you also unlock different levels of it too. You can say that those qualities are always going to be those qualities, but you may not even know those qualities are present until you experience something. You know, you may not know that you need that soft side. Or keep on saying soft. You may not know you need that feminine side. You know what I'm saying?
Why y'all laughing?
I mean,
you may not know.
Man up.
But that may be the thing that saves your life. You know what I'm saying? Because you go through life experiences, so you can't say that wasn't a quality back then until it was required. So that's my big thing. Is like, I think that, you know, you can grow in your areas, and I do agree with you. I think it's a puzzle piece, but that puzzle piece is forever changing. It's forever changing. That puzzle is never the same, and based on each situation, you have to apply where you're going to apply it. Am I going to bring the masculine energy to the situation? Because I got both. I need to figure out what situation I need to. There might be a time where I'm going off with Walt, and I need him to have that feminine energy, and I need to bring out that masculine of, let me talk to you direct about what's going on and what's not happening, and I need you to be that feminine, but I might flip it on you, and you might need to be that person, and let me be the heartfelt person that brings you back to earth and show you that feminine side. So I mean, it's just depending on each situation. I feel like you're going to have to bring certain different levels to it.
I think, and you said this off camera. I think it's we operate at percentages, like you said. I feel like I might be 60-40 masculine, feminine, and I think that's where I'm at. Yeah, I can come out that percentage a little bit if I need to, but that's my you know,
baseline.
My baseline. That's where I'm at. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? So when if I'm in a relationship, if I'm single, looking for a relationship, in that dating process, I'm trying to, what's your baseline? That's the conversations, because like we're all in and out, or I say in relationship. We're all in, you know, me and Mook. I'll speak for me and Mook. We in a relationship. What the hell, Walt doing?
I was gonna let you cut.
I was gonna let you.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mook. But a lot of this, and I'll say, speaking for me, a lot of this I'm figuring out. Because I've been with my wife, married for 3 years. Tomorrow is the anniversary.
Oh, nice.
But we've been together. Yeah, appreciate it, man. We've been together 11 years, and a lot of these things I've been learning while I'm in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? It makes things a little more complex. It makes things a little not difficult, but it makes things a little, you know. Go ahead.
Time out. I want to stop you right there, though, because check this out. You know, based off of that, like, so if we're going off of percentages, which I totally agree. However, let's say that, you know, you've been in this relationship and you're finding yourself, and we're coming to where we are now in our life. We're having a spiritual awakening where we once thought we were 60-40. Do you not believe that 40 can increase more if we're having that spiritual awakening? You know, so, and being able to channel more of that feminine energy.
I feel like yes and no. I feel like the reason I said what I said before is because that's from my experience. Like I said, I'm 60-40, but like I'm learning this stuff while I'm in the relationship. I learned where my baseline was in the relationship, but now I know I can come out a little bit to meet your needs, or to be who you need me to be. But I'm still this. You know what I'm saying? Because we've had that conversation. Like after I found my understanding, she found her understanding. We try to kind of figure out who we really were. Because like I said, relationships, who's really having these type of conversations? You know, who's really like talking about polarities, what you bring to a situation, your energy. Who's truly talking about that?
We can't, because we're triggered. We're too triggered by right? We're triggered in society about anything to do with any of this.
You feel me? So
in the relationship.
Yeah, so that's my thing. Like I learned most of it in the relationship. So I'm speaking for people that are single and trying to find these relationships or trying to figure yourself out. I would do that first. My whole goal right now will be trying to figure out my baseline and exactly who I am. So when I step into this, I kind of have an idea, and we can have these conversations while we're dating. We can really figure this out.
Okay. I'm gonna let you go. No, I have another one for you too.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah.
Go. You said you and Bridget have been together for 10 years or 11 years.
Right.
I'm sorry.
11, yeah.
Can you say that what you thought when you were single that you needed from a polarity standpoint is still the same 10 years later?
You know what's crazy? I had a realization, right? Especially when I'm playing. Because think back when we thought we were in the best versions of ourselves. We're playing ball. We're happy. We got life figured out.
Yeah.
You don't realize what you don't have or what you need until you don't have like that security, right? So I had like a huge realization once I wasn't playing ball. It's like, damn, like there was a lot of things I needed from her, which she could have given me, but I didn't ask her those things.
Yeah.
But that I need now.
Right.
That I need now. Like I need you to like comfort me. Like I need that.
Yeah.
I need you to be there for me emotionally right now. You know what I'm saying? I need those things because that's not something I'm thinking about. Like I'm on teams. Like
You were happy.
So
you were like,
I'm happy. I got it figured out. My energy is through the roof. I'm this masculine man. Like I don't need that. So there were certain things that I didn't realize I needed. You know what I'm saying? Until later. So these are conversations I really had to have. It's like, yo, this is where I was when I was playing ball, and these are things I need from you. You know what I'm saying?
You say that?
Yeah, that was a conversation we had. Like I didn't think I needed that. That wasn't even a question in my mind when I felt like life was figured out. I'm young. I'm you know, I know it all. You know, I'm not thinking about what type of energy I need. I'm not thinking about how I need you to. I'm holding myself down emotionally. I'm on cloud 9. Like I'm good.
And you
know what I'm saying?
You have different stressors now.
Yeah. So once I'm out of that situation and I'm figuring this thing out, I was like, damn, like I need that. I need this. You know what I'm saying? Like I need you there for me emotionally.
Yeah.
I need you here for me through this. I need this. I was trying to look at some of the feminine qualities, but I can't see them. But I need that nurturing. You know what I'm saying? I need that. I'm not saying she wasn't giving it, but it wasn't something that I required.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was self-sufficient. Like I'm good. I got what I need. Then like when I'm done, I'm like, damn, bro. I don't know what I'm feeling. Let me go pray on it. Let me go meditate. And that's when that search for, that meaning starts, and that's when I realized like, yo, like I need these things, or I need this, or I need that, or I need to be this, or I need to be that. I realized the things I wasn't giving. You know what I'm saying? That I wasn't doing.
Like Mook said, you have to unlock certain attributes in your woman as well.
You feel me? And that's something I didn't realize, bro. Like I didn't realize I wasn't like leading my house the way I was supposed to be leading my house, in a way to where she can relax and just be feminine. Like I didn't realize I wasn't doing those things because, like I said, I'm out here chasing this dream. That's all I need to do.
Right.
I'm getting to the league. Like that's all. You know what I'm saying? But really, like I got kids, bro. I got a family. Like I got. So she's holding it down in her masculine, running the whole household while I'm going team to team or trial to trial. And I'm not even like, I'm just thinking, oh, that's normal, you know.
And in return, she starts to have masculine traits
that
she has to take over where you're not at. And then you'll bump heads because you can't have two masculine motherfuckers.
And that was a thing. And that's a thing. And that's something you deal with, right? Like, but that's on me.
Yep. Right.
That's on me. Like I gotta hold it down to the point where she can be comfortable being in her feminine essence. And then that's like my goal. Like that's literally I wake up, I'm like, yo, I gotta make sure like I'm holding this shit down. I gotta make sure I'm doing
that. But hold on, that's triggering though. That's triggering nowadays in society for you to say, hey, I want you to. So basically, you're saying I want to provide for you. Right?
Not provide. No. So not necessarily provide financially and provide this way and that way. Literally provide emotionally, provide physically, provide all these intellectually, whatever I need to do. But really, if I'm gonna be this masculine man, I really gotta lead my household. That's it. Go.
I want to make sure I'm saying, I'm not saying that you're wrong at all by saying that. I'm just saying because when you speak, it's funny because when I think about where I was 10 years ago, I was looking for that go-getter. I wanted somebody that was very goal-oriented. I wanted somebody that was going to go make it happen with me. You know, like we was boss, queen, boss, king, you know, whatever. And we going to take over the world together. Not understanding that what I was looking for was somebody to compete with my masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, when I think about, that's why I'm trying to combat you a little bit, because I'm like, I truly, if you would have asked me back then, you know, like, no, we needed two people that were at the same. It's not understanding that the situation with polarities is you need somebody that matches your energy and whatnot. And like, that's where I'm getting to at this point, is realizing that like I'm the sensitive and emotional ass dude, you know, because I've really it's my relationship is we're both going to get shit, you know, so we're both really trying to learn how it is to be that feminine side, to be the you actually talking, like I was just telling Walt the other day, man. I'm crying over everything now. I cried. I saw Black Panther trailer last week, bro. I was bawling. Yeah, I was bawling, and I called Walt, and me and my fiance.
I was like, what happened?
What the fuck is going on? What's wrong with you, bro?
Right.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy though? Even in the book, it says that we think we want someone to match our energy, but we fucking don't. Because as much as we want I'm the same way, and that's why we're good friends, is because we're all go-getters. We'll go get it. We'll make goals and get it accomplished. And as great as that sounds as my woman to be like that, I don't know if I would like it if I was in it. You know what I mean? Like, of us just both go, it's business, go get your goals, I go get my goals, and we make goals together. Like, I got Mookie for that. I got JoJo for that. You know what I mean? I want my girl to have some masculine energy, but feminine energy, and not be me. You know what I'm saying? Don't be me.
Because it will be a battle, man. Like that's one thing that's hard. And like I'll touch on, because I didn't want to touch on it, but I'll touch on like the culture. I'll touch on Black culture, right? Talking about the issues with like relationships, especially with Black men and Black women, is because unfortunately, man, with Black women, they've been forced, you know, because fathers being out the home, they've had to run households, they've had to hold it down. They've been forced to be in this masculine place. You know what I'm saying? By force, not by want. By force. They're all just as feminine as the rest of us. It's just so much feminine waiting to bust out of there. But it's like we get into relationships, and you got Black men that are statistically raised by women as well, right? Feminine energy, portraying this idea of masculine energy, taking that shit into a relationship, and that shit is just like Clash of the Titans, man. Oh man, Black women is angry. Nah, bro, like you're not really a man. Nah, I don't want to say that. You're not really in your masculine energy.
You're not supreme. You're not the supreme man.
You're not who you think you are.
Yeah, right. You're
not who you think you are, and you don't have the power to unlock that feminine energy in her. And that's where I always tell people. They're like, whenever they tell me, oh, you know, Black women are this, I'm like, you just ain't built right for them. You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't have that in you. Because it's not all of them. I'm not speaking for all Black women. I'm not speaking for all Black men, but I'm speaking in general, right? Because
women are being masculine.
Yeah. That's just one of those things, man. Like, and like I said, if you ain't masculine enough, just say that. You know, but I think that's a lot of our issues. Right? I poke at it, but I think that's a lot of issue with the culture. It's like not understanding who we are, and not being prepared to be who you need to be to unlock that in another person.
True, and I think, to be honest with you, I think it falls on the man, because at the end of the day, I'm starting a relationship right now where I read this book and I'm just getting this relationship started, right? And I can see that the woman that I'm talking to has a lot of masculine energy. She does things on her own. She's been by herself for years, you know what I mean? And I know by reading this book that if I come in here and show who I am and what I'm able to do, I can relieve that stress. I don't think my girl is masculine. She's feminine at the core, but she has masculine tendencies because she had to. And that goes with any race or anything. So I feel like if a superior man comes in and understands himself, masculine and feminine, he can take away some of those hurdles or some of those things that they've been having to portray. and you understand what the baseline is, and if they're at 60% masculine, I can bring that down to 40 or 30 because I can take that off your plate. I truly believe that.
Until she hit you with the ha gotcha, this is who I am. I'm playing.
You thought. That was terrible.
Is that so? How so that and I'm with you. It sounds great, but how do you unlock it? How do you just come in and how is that practical? Because it sounds good saying that, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this off of your plate. But if she's been built in a way to go get it and built a career so long off of, you know, being that masculine person, could you play the bench?
I'll tell you.
You know,
and that's a great example because
give me some pom poms, man. I'll be
could you though? No, real talk though. Like could you play the bench?
I'll give you an example. So, for example, there's some things that I don't. The girl I'm talking to, she likes to camp and all that stuff. I don't know how to do none of that. You know what I mean? So here, teach me, show me. How do we do this? Be masculine because I have to not want to say submit, but I have to listen to you.
Why can't you say submit?
I can't say that, but I was just saying that's a trigger word. You said it was a trigger word.
But why? Why? Because you have people with the energy that they don't know how to.
They don't know how to say it. But I can say, hey, I can submit in this.
I don't think so, but keep going.
Issue. But I did. I let her do it.
I'll show you how to light a fire.
Look, I let her do it. But then on the flip side, so like if we make plans to go somewhere, I'm like, oh, I can do all this, right? So I'll figure out the plans, what time we're supposed to leave, blah, 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 blah. I have it all set, right? But in the midst of it, she's like concerned and worried, like, oh, well, what about this? And I said in the moment, like, relax. Let me show you that I got this. Kick back, relax. Let me do what I do. And you'll see that it's all going to be good.
Mm.
And in the moment, she was like, no, let me get, you know what I mean? I'm like, relax. And she's getting frustrated, but I'm not getting mad because I understand that this is what she would normally do. So I'm like, relax. Let me show you. So then once I showed her and everything went good, at the end of it, I said, look, you have to get used to letting me control certain situations.
Oh, control. That's another trigger word.
No, but that's not, it shouldn't be. You gotta let me, you gotta let me handle certain situations. And
why can't
what showing is proving.
I feel you.
Go ahead,
I feel you. My thing though is I don't. This one's hard for me, you know, especially considering when somebody that has been masculine by design has been that way. Like society gives people praises only on the masculine side, if you think about it. Like we praise everybody that has masculine qualities. Like we praise go-getters, we praise people that are goal-oriented. As much as we love people that are very heartfelt, we love people that are body motion, but what's in your face, what gives you instant gratification is a lot of masculine energy, right? So thinking about like, you know, in taking your relationship, for example, it's like I wouldn't be upset with not that you were upset, but I wouldn't. Hey, you want to take some of the reins? And okay, cool. You can pick where we going to eat, but let me pick dessert then. You know, all right, cool. We can do that. Like I feel like situations you got to match energy with different. Like that's what I'm saying by playing the bench. And you already kind of nailed it with you know camping, but that was only because you didn't know how. But what about if you do? What about if you do know how? But it's like, you know what? Nah. You know, let me play the bench. Although I know I can go out and score 30, let me go ahead and let you I'll come off the bench. I will come off the bench and see what you can do.
Yeah, that is hard.
You know, and that's where I feel truly. That's why I feel men like myself. That's something I'm saying that because that's where I fail. I fail naturally because I'm a scorer. You know, put me in the game. I'm a scorer. Now I know you might be able to. But it's hard for me to compensate a lot of times because, like, look at my track record. You know, like, why would you not want me in the driver's seat? You know what I'm saying?
That was my issue for a long time is because I always say everything that I say, I win. Everything I do is successful. So you should listen. That's what I used to think.
Shit.
You had me to that point. Yeah, I was like,
He had me in the first half.
Listen, y'all can laugh if you want to, but I'm always successful with everything that I do.
That's facts.
Like no matter what I do, I overthink things. So if I put you in a situation, you won't fail. So why you doubt me if I ain't never failed? If I ain't never failed, you ain't never seen me fail. Why should you even doubt me? I've always showed you is winning. That was my concept for a long time. It's like I've never failed you before. So why would you doubt me? But now I can't have that cocky mindset like that because that shit is not healthy. It's really not.
I don't think it's not. I'm playing this way.
Or you just gotta find somebody that balances you out. It's like somebody. It might be so. There's an app for that. There's somebody for that. If you that dude, there is definitely a woman that can match or balance that energy, fit it perfectly in there. Like I like that. I like that he's turned up. I like that all he does is win. I like that. But I'm gonna sit back and let him win.
But not in the area that he's looking for, though. That's the problem. Yeah. Not like sure, there may be somebody for that, but with what you're looking for and the qualities you're looking for in a woman, they're not going
to doubt it. Like, but so that's the crazy part about the polarities is like, all I say is like, all I do is win. Don't doubt me. But then the woman that doesn't doubt me, I don't even want them. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta prove them wrong.
Right. It's weird. I want the woman that's going to doubt me because I feel like they're strong-minded and being like, well, shit, everything I do, I win. You know what I mean?
Doubt you or like question you or doubt
like
or question you.
They'll see shit. If you doubt me, I think you questioning me. So
challenge is with better word.
Okay.
Challenge.
Okay.
I want them to challenge me. You know what I mean? I don't want you to just give it to me. Shit.
Yeah. Well, then challenge. You want a challenge in every sense of the word. But then when you get challenged and you get challenged right, boy, you also need somebody to channel their feminine and back up and be like, yo,
back up because we can take it.
And that's take it.
Look,
and that's the tough part about it all. Like I said, I say all that to say that, when we think about it, although the masculine is what's right in our face and what's always gratified, I think that there is so much more power in the feminine side. Because when I think about it, especially where I'm in my life right now, my ultimate goal is to live my divine truth, right? To live my divine way. When we think about what that means, divine, living my divine way, what's naturally the polarity you think that you trigger when you hear the word divine?
Masculine. You're in your ways. That's what I think you think about the first time.
You think masculine? Nah, bro. I think when I say my living in my divine truth, I'm definitely thinking feminine.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm. But hey, you may be thinking that. Now, however, if I was
I'm just saying that's what I would think people would think. I would think people would think like, oh, if I'm living my divine truth, I'm thinking that someone may believe like, I believe who I am. This is what I am, and I'm going to strive to be who I am. You know what I mean? Like that's what people might think their divine truth is. You know what I mean?
I still don't know what the hell you mean, but I will keep moving. But this is my interpretation. Like that's how you feel. That's fine. When I hear the word divine, I'm living in my divine truth. That to me is triggering feminine qualities, feminine traits. Naturally, if I was closed off to feminine traits, I would never be able to live my truth. I would never be able to find my life's purpose. That's why I feel like it's so important to develop and understand that side of things, especially if it's coming from, this is King's Hour, and I'm talking to other kings. Right. Let's definitely dive into our feminine traits because we all have them. We all have them, but we've just learned to bury them under more shit than others, So let's dig a little bit and understand that there's levels to us, man. There's levels to us, and it's okay for us to feel emotional. It's okay for us to want to talk about shit because a lot of times we do, but society tells us that we can't. But I think to myself now, if I would have been more mindful, had more mental fortitude, like who the hell would I have unlocked earlier? And what could I not have overcame? Because truly, if I look at life's obstacles, it was all about mental fortitude. That's
Yeah.
literally the thing that broke every situation that made me successful. And to this point, not like I'm a great success, but you know, anything that I had to overcome took nothing but mental fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a feminine trait.
Absolutely. And I feel like if, even with me too, if I would have had that type of mindset earlier, the times where I fumbled, I wouldn't have, because I would have been mentally prepared. I would have knew how to handle it better. You know what I mean?
Right.
And not just my masculine.
Yeah. How many L's you took, man? Like, even like I said, like just relationships, every type of relationships that I've cut off. Cause I'm the type dude, like, if you give me bad vibes, I don't care who you are. If you cross me once or if you violate once, I'll just cut you off. That's how I used to be. But it bothered me. It always bothered me because I'm like, man, probably should have talked that out. Probably should have got to the bottom of it and figured that thing out. And that's, like you said, that emotional intelligence, that stepping into that, embracing that feminine, being cool, wanting to communicate, and really trying to, instead of thinking like, man, I'm out, like, trying to man up, like, I'm good. I don't want to deal with. I ain't got to deal with this. You know who I am. Yeah. I always succeed.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, how many relationships
not healthy
that I just literally walked away from just off of my ego and not truly knowing who I was and what I truly wanted out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't really regret it, because I needed those to kind of get to where I'm at, to get that understanding, because you do it enough. Like, literally, so I was reading one of my journals from a while back, just looking at what I used to write, you know what I'm saying, talking about situations, and I literally was experiencing the same type of shit over and over and over again until I realized until I sat down and tried and really, like, I kid you not, this was this morning. I'm looking at him like, damn, bro, like, I was looking at like I got some shit from like 2013, 2012.
It's a rerun, dog.
And for 3 years at least, I was saying the same type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
In a different way. In a slightly different way. Yeah.
Very, like this little change, right? And I'm just like, and then you can see, like, around 2015, 16 is when I was really, like, I stepped into that, really trying to truly understand myself. Like, I was on the surface of it, but I sat down and truly was trying to understand who I was, and things started to shift in what I was writing. It was more about any more understanding. It was more about, it was more internal work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before it was just like, this happened, or I need to work on this, or I need to work on that. That shit ain't ever gonna happen to me again,
Oh yeah, Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Not really understanding. And then fast forward, it's like, okay, this is how it went. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna prepare for it. This is the work I need to do. This is where I'm lacking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wish I would have knew these things earlier, but I think that I needed those to kind of prompt me to figure out who the hell I was, And
I know we're coming up on time, but that's something I know we asked, we talked about it off camera, but we're thinking about, like, what age do you really push this on somebody to understand their polarities, right? I mean, obviously you start at a really early age, but, like, even thinking about the book in specific, what age do you give them the book to start reading and really understanding these polarities? And I'm like, that question is really tough for me to answer, because let's say I would have got it at high school, I don't know if I would have knew what to do with it. I don't know if I would have been really able to understand it, because although that one book would have made, a world of difference for me, life was reiterating a whole nother thing right in front of my face constantly, and it took life's experiences for that book to really make sense to me.
Right.
So, like, that's what was really tough for me to answer that question, because I'm like, oh yeah, let's give it to them early, but, like, life really hasn't set in. They hadn't really seen the understanding of polarities in a lot of different settings to understand that, like, hey, you need to be more well-rounded. Like, the stronger man in the room is that, again, can whip your ass, and that can cry with you, and that can talk about why he whipped your ass and why he's crying with you at the same time. Like, that's the strongest dude in the room, not the one that's acting like Billy Badass in the corner. You know, you need the one that's forward, but we where is that celebrated throughout society anywhere?
I feel like give them that book early as hell. And this, I had more time to think about it because for us, we were in a different age, man. Like we weren't on phones. We didn't have as much access to information, right? Like we just weren't on. I think this generation, especially these young kids, they know more now. They're more open now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's kids talking about things going on in the world that I wasn't even thinking about. Right. Just because of my lack of access. Like I couldn't just open this app and see what's happening in, you know, another world or another country. I couldn't see shit, or I don't know what's going on with women's rights. Like I know on the surface level, but like they can just see these things. So I think a lot of people are more open. A lot of kids, I would say teenagers, man. I would say maybe 15, 16 and up. I think that's perfect time to pick up this book. This, like Mook said, there's certain things that it might be too much too soon, but a lot of those things will click the further you go along, right? Yeah. A lot of things will make sense for you. I think there's enough in there that'll make sense even to a teenager. Yeah. And then some stuff that won't, because some of the stuff like I'm not there as an adult. But a lot of the stuff, like there's 4 chapters, like chapter 31 through 34, I reread those shits all the time because that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the things I'm trying to fix. Maybe they can relate to chapters 1 through 10.
And sometimes it could just be planting the seed. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't understand everything, but it opens their mind up to something. And I'm hoping, because I think this is going to be something I give to my brothers, and that if there's something that they don't understand, they simply ask me. You know what I mean? So at least we have a conversation. So I think that's a great question. And you're right. Maybe we need to give it to our men a little bit earlier.
And all it takes is one book. Like I remember like I think the first real like self-help book I got, it was like a requirement for me to sign on to this agency when I was playing football. They said I had to read How to Win Friends and Influence People and Think and Grow Rich. And those 2 books open a world. This is back in 2011, 2010. Those 2 books opened a world for me that I never even thought of, as far as like just working on me and getting myself right. So even just giving them that book early, it might not even be that book that puts them on. It might be something else. That's just like they said, it's a gateway, man. Like damn, bro. Like let me get my hands on something else.
No, you're right. What was the book that we read?
Awaken the beast, awaken the giant within. That's why I was laughing. You remember we was like, but that
changed my life.
Flipped everything. What was it? It's right here. Let me
Awaken the sleeping
giant within.
Awaken the giant within. Yeah, that book is dope, man. That's a fire book. That's a fire book. He also has he did like a whole seminar on polarities too.
He did?
Yeah.
So I've seen a couple videos on it, and it's actually really
straight.
Good.
He's actually on the back of this book. Yeah, look, he's on that man. And my thing's going blurry. He's one of the he spoke up about this book saying how dope it was. So yeah, man. But yeah, like one book can open somebody up, man. So
agree. One thing I will say is before all of that, though, again, we hit on mental fortitude, and if there's anything to create this palette, I would say creating a level of mindfulness, like instilling the need for meditation, the need for being by yourself, because most of the times I think what blocked this is I did not want to address what the fuck was going on in my head.
For sure. Or didn't know how.
Yeah, that exactly. So you have to have the palate first to understand what's going on in your head to read something like this to make it make sense. So if you're talking to your brothers, or if you're to give something to the younger generation behind us, it's that piece first. Like spend time in your mind, however it may be. However, if it's even just walks or something, understand that you have to have that in order to have any true level of communication with yourself and others.
Yeah, but we said it for years, man. You just have to listen, but in silence. A lot of times you'll get the answers that you're looking for if you're just quiet by yourself. No music, not having a whole bunch of people around you, and really tap into yourself. It could be scary, for sure. But I think if we do that at a younger age, it could be mind blowing. So
life changing.
But I love it. This was awesome, man. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys' input. And for our listeners, make sure that you tap in and get the books. Make sure that you comment, respond, share everything. Make sure that you have your friends and family listen to the podcast. But most importantly, that we want to leave you all with is be kings today and every day. Peace.
Black King, Black King.